everybody, and welcome to yet another Cincinnati Zoo Home Safari. My name is Colleen, and this is Erin. Hi, guys. And we are two of the keepers in the interpretive collection. So we take care of a lot of the little guys that you might see doing things like this home safari or visiting your class or things like that. But today we have a special friend for you, and her name is Frankie. Frankie is a bat-eared fox. Now, we know we have foxes all over North America and all over the world, but you guys may have seen red foxes in your backyard even. And Frankie is a fox species from Africa. So bat-eared foxes, they live in the savannas and the grasslands of Africa. But here at the zoo, Frankie lives in the Animal Ambassador Center, which is near the Children's Zoo. So if you guys, when the zoo opens back up, want to get a good look at Frankie and her boyfriend Otis, you can head on over to the Animal Ambassador Center. Those two guys are on exhibit there. And now I'm going to have Frankie be doing some behaviors. As we talk. So we might focus in and watch her do things like, let's see if she'll do something. Sit. Frankie. Or not. Frankie. Can you sit? Good, there we go. So Frankie is a canid, which means she is in the dog family. And so her brain operates a lot like a dog. However, she also has a lot of characteristics like a cat. So her personality is a little bit cat-like. She does things on her own time when she wants to do them, and she only wants to be touched when she wants to be touched. But she is, being a canid, very, very intelligent. So we are able to train Frankie to do things using what we call positive reinforcement. So when Frankie does something that I ask her to do, like lay down, good, Frankie, I'm going to give her a yummy treat, which in this case was hard-boiled egg. Erin, could you tell us a little bit about what we feed Frankie here at the zoo and what she might eat when she's out in the wild?
Sure. So you guys in some of our home safaris before might have heard about this, but we actually have our very own zoo nutritionist. We're going to give Frankie some crickets to dig through while we're doing that. And our nutritionist basically tells us the safest and healthiest food to feed each of our animals. So here at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden, we feed Frankie a mix of things. And that mix includes food for bug eaters, which these guys do eat a lot of bugs in Africa, as well as meat, as well as fruits and vegetables. Frankie has a couple of favorites you guys might see today, that she's got some apple, some banana, and like I said, I just fed her some crickets, which she loves to hunt. It looks like we might also have some hard-boiled egg, some meat. Oh, she's passed by all of it. And some dog food.
There you go.
Oh, she found them. Good. We'll also occasionally give her novel food that she does not get on a regular basis with the permission of our nutritionist. And that might include things like eggplant or carrots or broccoli. Occasionally we'll get lots of yummy things like strawberries, probably stuff that you guys enjoy eating at home. And we get good fresh produce into the zoo on a regular basis to feed to our animals. Something I want you guys to notice very quickly as Frankie is hunting those crickets is what her ears are doing. Colleen, tell us a little bit about Frankie's ears.
Yeah, so bat-eared foxes have some of the biggest ears for their body size of any of the foxes. And those big ears help them track down their prey. Bat-eared foxes have such good hearing, they can actually hear larvae of different insects wiggling and wriggling around under the ground. And then they can start digging or reaching into those burrows and pulling out those insects that make really, really juicy, tasty treats. Those ears also can rotate independently, so they can turn their ears. You may have noticed as you've been watching Frankie that she will sometimes just turn one ear at a time, and being able to only turn one ear at a time helps her be able to figure out where the sound is coming from. Much better than us, because our ears stay still all the time.
So there's some questions coming in. Rachel and Maya would both like to know if you can tell how you tell the difference between a male and a female.
So the difference between a male and a female, actually Frankie and Otis look just about identical. So kind of just like in humans, where we have just a little bit different body parts, that's the way that we would tell in a male and a female.
They're just about the same size. The coloring of their coat is just about the same. And we'll also say, since we work so closely with Frankie and her boyfriend Otis, we can tell them apart by their personalities. Frankie is very friendly with our keepers, the people that she knows and is comfortable with, and Otis is a little bit more reserved and shy. He definitely loves being near Frankie, but is a little bit more nervous to be around us. So that's the difference between just our two foxes.
Alexis would love to know what their favorite food is.
So I would say that Frankie's favorite food in the whole world would be little pinky mice. So just baby mice. That is her very favorite thing. She doesn't get them too often, but when she does, she slurps them up like candy.
Violet is interested in if they are awake in the day or the night.
Sure, so these guys are actually nocturnal. So let's do my personal favorite activity that I like to do with all the animals that I meet. I look at their faces and I try to tell which sense they use the most of. Now, if you guys get a good look at Frankie the fox, you will see that she has a nice long nose, teeny tiny little eyes, and big old ears. So I think that she doesn't use those eyes as much as she uses her ears and her sense of smell to get around in the world. And that is true. So these guys are mostly awake at night, although like all of the nocturnal animals who live at the zoo, they're much more used to being on a human daytime pattern. So these guys, it doesn't bother her to be awake during the day right now, but in the wilds of Africa, they would be awake more at night than during the day.
Daniel from Detroit, all the way from Detroit, is asking what their gestation is.
60 days. These guys have 60 to 75 days. These guys have a pretty short gestation, so actually we're really hoping that Frankie here might give us some box kits in the future with her boyfriend Otis. So stay tuned. Maybe you'll get to see some exciting news on that front. But just two to 2.5 months is all it takes for those kids.
And Colleen, Frankie was born here at the Cincinnati Zoo, is that correct?
That is correct, Erin. And her boyfriend Otis came to us from Chicago, so he is not native to Cincinnati.
He's not a native Ohioan.
Nope, he's a foreigner.
And Sarah, without an H, would like to know how many babies they have.
How many babies? So Frankie herself, when she was born, was one of 4. And usually they'll have about up to 6. So anywhere from 3 to 6 is a good sized litter for bat-eared fox.
The babies are born with their eyes closed, and they are pretty helpless. Their mom and dad both take care of them, which is one of my favorite things about bat-eared foxes. Mom and dad are both helping to take care of those babies.
I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Malachi, and Rebecca both would like to know if they make good pets.
Do foxes make good pets? That is an excellent question because the answer is no. Foxes do not make good pets. The only reason that I am able to put Frankie on a collar and a leash right now and be handling her the way that I am is because I am a zookeeper and I have extensive training. And Erin and I and the rest of our team have worked really, really hard with Frankie over the years to get her used to us and get her used to all of the things that we need her to do in all these different environments. That she is not like a dog at home that you could just pick up and take where you want it to go. Frankie does things when Frankie wants to do them, and it requires a lot of trust. Foxes are also largely prey animals in the wild, so they can be spooked pretty easily, and bat-eared foxes specifically have more teeth in their mouth than almost any mammals. So, you would not want to be bit by a bat-eared fox who got spooked by something.
That is for sure. I also think that a little while ago, Colleen had Frankie demonstrate how good at digging she is. And this is definitely something you don't want to encourage in your house because look at the mess she has made in just the few minutes we've been in this room. We're going to already have to clean up all after her when this is all over.
And another point about that, Erin, is that we leave at the end of the day, right? So Frankie gets to have time away from us in her den with her boyfriend Otis where we're not bothering her. So it'd be much different than having her as a pet at home.
Know what you're feeding right.
So a handful to the camera, and then we can maybe zoom in a little bit and we can see. right now we've got some hard-boiled egg, banana, insectivore diet, which is made for insect-eating animals, dog food, apple, corn, sometimes there's pear, there's a big old glob of banana, and my hand's a little sparkly, which is kind of silly, but I'm also feeding Frankie red glitter, and you might wonder about that. Seems really silly to put glitter in an animal's food, but I now have to tell you why I do that, and that is actually so that I can tell whose poop is Frankie's and whose poop is Otis's when I'm cleaning their enclosure.
Now, what sort of information can we get from an animal's poop, Colleen?
Yeah, so we can get tons of information from poop. Poop has so much information in it. And the information we're looking for in Frankie's poop right now is Frankie ready to have a baby? Is her body doing all the things that it needs to do to have a baby? So we can have people check that poop for different hormones and things. But also, it's just good to know if Frankie's pooping, right? It wouldn't be good if Frankie wasn't pooping for a while. So if I see glittery poop and not glittery poop, I know that both foxes' digestive systems are working well.
Yeah, we're actually really lucky here at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden to have a department here called CREW, the Center for Research on Endangered Wildlife, and they actually help us analyze. They're sort of the scientist end of our zookeeping family, and they help us analyze things like that in the poop of animals, the feathers of animals, and anything that our animals like to give us. So they're actually a great resource that we have, and we're very lucky to be working with them.
We love CREW.
Marcia would like to know why they have such a big and bushy tail, and Priya wants to know how long the tail is.
So the big and bushy tail definitely helps them as nocturnal animals, and also animals that live in a place that can get really hot during the day, sometimes really cold at night. They use it to curl around themselves and keep warm. As to how long it is, I don't know if Frankie has any behaviors where she shows out how long her tail is.
She doesn't, but when she sits down,
You can kind of see it.
You can kind of see it.
So it's
There.
about,
That was a
I'd
good
say it's
zip.
about 12 to 14 inches long.
However, we learned when we got Otis that not all bat-eared foxes have the same length tail because his tail stops about here. And it's pretty silly, but he's really cute.
One viewer is asking how the animals are doing without guests around.
That's a great question. We, as the keepers, definitely miss our guests. I definitely miss seeing our families and kids hanging out at the zoo and learning from us and from our animals. As for the animals, I think some of them do miss the guest interaction that they get, particularly the animals who live on those big exhibits out there in the park. Animals like John Lion and Imani, animals like our polar bears or our wolves, things like animals like that. They definitely seem to miss our public. However, our keepers are here every day working extra hard to make sure that our animals are getting well taken care of and that they're having lots of fun and getting lots of fun experiences along the way. So we are doing our very best to make sure our animals are well taken care of and having a good time even when the zoo is not open.
Okay, so our last question is from Maria, and she would like to know if they enjoy taking baths.
Do foxes enjoy taking baths? Specifically the bat-eared foxes, because they live in such a dry place over in Africa, in those shrublands with all the tall grasses and things. They don't seem to like water too much at all, actually. The most I will ever see Frankie or Otis interact with their water dish is if I might put a fun treat in there and they kind of dig around in it or splash around in it to try to pull the treats out. But even then, she will shake off a lot and seem to be really bothered by the fact that she just got wet.
Okay, so we actually have a couple activities for you guys to do at home today. One of them is a quiz based on some of the information that we've told you today about bat-eared foxes. And the other one has to do with what I said earlier was my favorite feature of Frankie, her nice big ears.
Yeah, so our second activity, guys, is a little bit lengthy, but just bear with me. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab a couple different colors of markers or pens and a piece of paper. And then I need you to go somewhere where you can hear some sounds of outside. And you're going to sit down and you're going to listen. And you're going to draw an X in the center of your paper. Maybe use like a black pen in the center of your paper, draw that X. And you're going to listen. And if you hear a sound coming from the left side of your body that you're hearing with your left ear, go ahead and make a mark with, say, a purple or whatever color you choose marker on the left side of the X. Then, if you hear anything on the right side, do the same thing. Pick a different color that's going to represent all the sounds on the right side. Then, once you've collected a bunch of sounds and you pay attention to how many sounds you're hearing, I want you to put your hands around your ears, kind of like I'm doing right now, if Amy wants to show, and you're going to cup your hands around your ears so that your ears look like Frankie. Everything just got super loud for me, I'm not even kidding. So cup your hands around your ears and pretend that you're a fox and do the activity again. And when you do it again, I want you to take note if you are hearing more sounds and if the sounds are getting louder. And if they are, let us know. Go ahead and upload your activity. You can comment on this post of the video. You can upload it onto Twitter or Instagram or however you want to do that. And we might even share your stories. And then also, guys, we super appreciate all of the support that we've gotten so far, especially all of you loyal Home Safari fans. And if anyone would still like to do just a little bit more and help out our animals here and get Frankie some more crickets and things, you can go ahead and click that donate button that is under the video and just give whatever you have. And if you can't, we still super appreciate you, and we really miss all of you and can't wait to see you guys soon.
So that about wraps it up for our home safari today. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow for another great animal from the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. Have a great day, guys.
Say bye, Frankie. Can you say